School District, Thursday, September 24th, 2015. First item on our agenda will be our invocation, and Mr. Bob Ford is here to read it.
Let us pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we are again just blessed to be at this time together. We know we're two or more gathered, Lord, that you're here. Lord, we just ask that your blessings will come now. We come into your holy presence and ask that your blessings would flow. Let the Holy Spirit just lead us in all of our decisions here tonight. Lord, we bind up anything that is not of you and send it straight to Jesus for him to deal with as he will. Lord, just come now and just let your blessings flow. Guide and direct each and every action so that it will be to the benefit of our children. Watch over and keep us in your peace and your love. In Christ's holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda will be the adoption of the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? None. Do we have a motion to accept the agenda?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Approve the agenda, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Agenda has been approved. Next item, Mr. Superintendent, do you have any visitors or distinguished guests?
I do. This normally is the time when we call up people from our community, students, teachers, and brag on their accomplishments. And we've actually got a unique opportunity to brag on one of our school board members, and it is Coach Stevens. Coach Stevens has won an award, and I'd like to read it. That's the wrong one. It's from the Mississippi School Board, and it is called the John L. Hartman Award. And it is the highest award that is given from the Mississippi School Board Association to a school board member that exceeds the amount or reaches the amount or is the highest amount in the state for training. And that just shows his commitment to want to be the best board member he can possibly be. And he's awful proud. They're going to actually have a ceremony for him in November where they're going to give him an official award, but we're going to give him his tonight. So if he'd step down, just like I always ask the kids to, please come down so we can get a shot. And I'm going to present him with an award. Sweet bride. I got to stand by her. Bride. Congratulations. Wait, good work. And we appreciate Bob Ford being here for our invitation. He's a local pastor and a veteran Vicksburger like us all now. So we appreciate him coming by to open us up.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Next item on the agenda is approval of our previous board meeting minutes.
Mr. Chairman, we'll call for additions or deletions to the minutes of August 27th, 2015, and September the 11th, 2015. Are there any changes to the minutes as written? Not hearing any, I move that we approve the minutes as written for August 27th and September the 11th, 2015.
Second, Sturgis. We have a motion, the proper second to approve August 27th and September 11th minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Next on the agenda, superintendent's report.
Well, and I'm trying to keep it because I listen well. You got before you a couple bulleted pieces of paper. The thing I would like to point out, one of them is kind of my schedule, and there's some things on there, and there's a lot of work with MSU and ERDIT right now because we're coming up on the uniqueness of what we have here is coming to fruition. And the left side, if you'll take a peek, there's actually 16 grants that are attached to the school district that have come either last year or we're embarking on making happen this year. And you quantify all of those, and they're over $1 million. And that's pretty incredible that people see the value of what's happening here and they want to invest from outside sources. Those are from MDE. We've got early college programs. We've received grants. There's one we're getting that is the only one in the nation. There's some we're getting that are 2 in the nation. There's some we're getting that are 3 in the state, 5 in the state, and it goes on and on and on. And one of the things that is becoming very common when you're out and about talking about Vicksburg, they go, gosh, that's what they're doing on the STEM stuff. And that is the truth. And as you get to see it, I encourage everybody watching or anybody here, if you hadn't seen where we're going, it's an amazing feat. Largely due to the efforts of Lucy and their team and the principals and the staff are making that happen. And I wanted y'all to just kind of see it because I didn't realize it was so much until we started talking about it. And I said, we just kind of got to get these things in the right pile so that I don't get them mixed up and we're moving forward with our deadlines in each one. But that's pretty incredible to look at. So one of the other things that's happening that is unique for us in the state, we will be the first public school in the state of Mississippi to have a partnership that has Mississippi State University teaching on our campus. We have a engineering course. It's an intro to engineering course, which is a sophomore course that will be coming in the spring. And of course, I thank them greatly for that, and I'm very proud of it. I told them that's not all I wanted. So as we move forward, we've begun conversations about early college, students being able to receive associate's degrees. You know, I've mentioned that multiple times that that's a goal. Well, it looks like it may be coming a lot sooner than I expected. So more to come in there, but this is kind of put some of the concreteness to where we're headed.
I didn't hear you clearly. You said the only public school.
Only public school in the state of Mississippi.
Taking the Mississippi State.
That is correct.
On our campus.
Yep, and we invited the Dean of the Chemical Engineering Department to come in and look at what we were teaching at AI, which is our Academy of Innovation, where we're experiencing those engineering thematic units with our junior high kids. And he said, we got to move fast because these kids are learning things that we're teaching high school kids.
So what you're really saying is if you live in Clinton, you have 2 options. You can move to Vicksburg or you can go to Starkville to take that course, right?
I guess that's what I said.
I just thought that's what you said. Okay.
I want to make sure I heard right. That was an Ole Miss graduate saying
Yeah,
Mississippi State's going to...
and that was a very humble meeting, I will admit. I told him, much like Frank McCovey says, begin with the end in mind. If I'm talking to an engineer, hey, I admitted what I needed to do. So, but they were very grateful. We met with Dr. Jason Keith was the one we set the initial meeting up. And by the time we got there were 12 folks that were a lot brighter than me sitting at the table. And I shared our vision and where we were headed, and they are so excited to be a part of what's about to happen here. And I don't know that you really understand the significance of that, but Mississippi State has never and will never and wouldn't and has denied that involvement over and over again in the engineering departments. And so it's pretty big that we're getting it. They do have 2 other partnerships with other schools. One is Jackson Prep. They have a fine arts program that's offered through them. And Jackson Academy, they have a class that's offered there.
This course will not be offered anymore.
This course will be similar but different because the one they have at J8 is offered to seniors only, and it is a chemical engineer, and they kind of make their stuff. Y'all know we received a $250,000 engineering grant, which kind of, I guess, appealed to them. I told them the violin in my hand didn't work much, but you put it in a violin, it stands, and it means something. I said, I got $250,000 worth of equipment, come do something with it. So they were pretty excited about that.
Mr. Superintendent, I'd like to make an observation. We are so fortunate in this community to have the STEM effort. And I want to recognize Rick Tillotson for helping the Vicksburg-Warren School District to get that started here. And that's science, technology, engineering, and math. So it's a national effort. I saw a good program on national news recently about the STEM effort. So thanks to Rick and everyone at Engineering Research and Development Center.
Absolutely. You'll notice on one of the superintendent report bullets of my visits, we were able to sit with Rick, and we had another engineer over there who everybody's familiar with because he helps with our robotics, and we sat down and came up with a targeted goal because ultimately there's been a lot of talk about it, and we just want to see it happen. So we're looking through the partnerships to make sure that we're picking off the menu of options that are available, and that partnership can be as strong as it possibly can. Because ultimately, when it's all said and done, you're right, Mr. Pratt, we'll be able to offer something nobody else in the United States will be able to offer because there's only one article our size, and it's in our back porch.
It's not in Clinton or Madison.
No, sir.
It's here.
Okay.
Just want to make sure.
That's it for me.
That's it. Next item on the agenda will be our financial report.
It's not it for me. I left out the really big thing. There's a black binder in front of you, and in the superintendent's update, and I'm not going to read all of these to you, but I did want to briefly let you know that this is the most comprehensive instructional plans we've ever had. Each one of you have one. There's one for the district. And what we've done is we've gone in and taken the accountability model and said, if we want to raise the accountability level one level, this is what we got to do, because it's quantifiable. We know where the points come from. We know where the grid is. So we established in order for us to move up a level, we had to have a minimum cut score, which meant these are the areas to which we have to go in. And our principals, like warriors, went out there. We disaggregated data. We went through each one of the policies. And if you look at those plans, they are incredible. They're very specific. They attack those areas that we need the most growth in and where we can reach it so that we can guarantee we can move our district. So as you look through those, I just want you to understand the amount of work that's gone into these, and these are some of the best plans I've ever seen. So I'm very proud of their effort, and that's what's in the binder. And we are going to publish those for the public. They will be available. Every instructional plan for every building will be on our website so that you can see that. Down.
All right, Ms. Birch, you're up, and I see your boss changes his mind.
No, I'm good.
All right, the first thing on the financial reports are our bank statements. You do not see those in your packet simply because we're still working on closing our 2015 year. And until we close that, we're still having some outstanding items that we have to roll over from month to month. So once we complete our 2015 close, you'll see a full catch-up of all of our bank reconciliations. And we have to have our books closed and submitted to MDE by October 15th. Okay? Next on the list is the statement of revenues and expenditures. That's the packet that comes in the financial updates. It basically shows you our budget amounts, our statement of revenues and expenditures. Right now, based on the report, we are showing year-to-date receipts of 9% of our total budgeted revenue, and statement of expenditures shows that we're at about 15% of our district-wide budget that we spent. And based on where we are percentage-wise, the expenditures are within our budget amounts. Okay, Avalon, our year-to-date Avalon collection for 2015. Right now, we've only had 1 month of revenue received for Avalon, and that's the month of August. And what we received was $551K out of the full $30 million that we requested. And of that $30 million, $187,000 of that goes to our debt service. Okay. MAP collection. Currently, we've collected year-to-date August $4.38 million of our projected $26.6 million of MAP. I mentioned to you guys last board meeting that there was projecting a 3.4% reduction in our August MAP, but MDE anticipates being able to catch that up in the months to come. So hopefully full year, we'll see our full collection of MAP. Revenue. In August, we received $54.9 thousand of casino revenue, and if you look at the chart, you'll see that it's slightly down from last year. And my understanding is that casinos are not bringing in as much as they have been, so you're going to probably continue to see a trend downward of casino revenue. Okay. Statement of cash flow. If you look at the statement of cash flow that has 2015 on it, you'll see that we actually ended currently projecting ending our fiscal year at $3 million over our budgeted amount. However, we are $441,000 under our state required 7%. But that's currently a projection simply because we haven't fully closed the year. If you compare that to the closing of 2014, we're still in a better position because we were only $616,000 over budget, but we had to borrow from our 16th section interest to cover our fund balance. Okay.
Ending last year, we're scheduled, forecasting last year, 400,000 more than we require to have. So,
400,000 less. That's currently based on what our numbers show right now. We still have transfers to do and some accruals and things to finish out. So next month, when we actually close, you'll probably see that number being a lot lower. That's why I said it's a projected number. Okay? Going into the current year, 2016, the statement of cash flow, understanding that our beginning balance for this year will change based on our ending balance for 2015. But currently, we're showing that we are $900,000 projected to be over budget full year, with approximately $450,000 over our required 7%. Now, the thing about the one thing that I want to point out with that is we have more revenue coming in, which means our required 7% is going to be higher. So the fact that we're still anticipating $450,000 greater than that number means that we're moving in the right direction. And with continued focus on, working towards needs and versus want, then we're looking to increase our fund balance little by little each year. Any questions on that? I think the second thing on the financial report, I don't know if you want me to go into that, or you guys want to vote on this first?
do we want to go ahead and accept your report first?
Yes.
Do we have a motion to accept Ms. Burke's financial report?
I'd like to make a motion that we accept Ms. Burt's financial report to the board.
Second.
Motion proper second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Accept the report. Your approval of 16 section interest fund loans to district banks.
Yes, sir. And the reason why we're requesting that is, yes, we did end the year where we didn't have to go into our 16 section to cover our fund balance. This was the first year that we didn't budget our fund balance, so we were in a good position. However, we're still working towards the element of the months where October, November, December, and January, where we don't get the bulk of our ad valorem or our revenue in until February. We're still working on the cash flow problems. And one of the cause of that is with our federal programs, our SPED, those programs, we have to front load those programs and then get reimbursed back from MDE. So to make sure we have enough cash flow from month to month to get us where we pay, be able to cover payroll, be able to pay accounts payable for not only the district maintenance areas, but those special program areas, federal program areas. We need to move the money borrow the money from 16 section, and like we did last year in February, pay it back. So we borrowed amount about $4 million last year around the same time, and in February we paid the entire thing back, and that's what we're asking to do again this year.
Any questions? Do we have a motion to approve transfer the loan from the 16th section?
I move that we approve the transfer based on the recommendation of the financial officer and the superintendent.
Second.
We have a motion properly second to approve the transfer of cash from our 16th section fund interest fund to district maintenance fund in the amount of $3,500,000. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda would be the consent agenda, which covers several sections. Section G, Section H, Section I. Are there any items within sections G, H, and I that any board member would like to pull for discussion or have questions?
I'd like to put, on G3. A question.
Any other items before? Mr. Sturdy? No, sir.
Well, we're going through all of them now?
We're going to do G,
Okay.
H, and I and see which you want to pull and
Okay.
approve them, and then we'll go back and talk about the ones we're talking about.
Okay, H4,
Which one?
H4.
Resignation.
yeah,
Okay.
and I1.
No. Okay, so currently, under consent agenda, we are pulling from consent agenda items G3, H4, and I1. Did I get that correct, Coach?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other items to pull for discussion? Seeing none, we have a motion to accept the current new consent agenda with the exceptions of G3, H1, and H4, and I1.
I'll make a motion to accept
Is that the new code?
the
The new consent agenda.
legal.
Second.
There's a motion to second to accept the consent agenda with the items removed. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. It passes. All right. First item for discussion would be G3. This would be the honors course offered in the Fine Arts Department.
Dr. Winters, I was just, my question was that the number of kids at both high schools do we have that will be qualified into that program?
We got somebody from represent, yeah.
Okay, that's,
And I guess the question is, do we have kids at both high schools?
Right.
Be able to, okay. Good. And these programs actually already exist. What we're trying to do is give them the credit of the honors weight versus other courses that are honors courses have a weight. And we just wanted them to follow in that same category.
okay. Upon the answer to the question, I'd like to move that we accept agenda G3.
Second.
We have a motion, proper second, to approve item G3. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. G3 has been approved. Next item for discussion is H4, resignation.
My question, I was reading on one of the resignations, and I could not make out the reason why.
Is that an added one?
On, can I use that? I can't use the name right.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, if we need to talk about that person's job performance or character or competence.
I just want to know, he made a statement of why, and it just wasn't clear on my paper.
Which,
Yeah, right.
first one?
Yeah, Mr. Campbell. Yeah. Eric. Can you read that? Okay, upon reading and understanding the resignation I move that we accept H4.
Second.
We have a motion, proper second, to accept H4 resignation. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Resignations have been approved. Next item was I1, which was Vicksburg High School, summer trip, traveling out of state to New Orleans weekend.
Question, on our social studies, again, both schools, we just have one that, is this beneficial for the district?
Well, and I'll let Mr. McDonald respond to that, but there's funds that are governed by each building, and sometimes you'll have PD that lines up with a specific teacher that lacks it. So, and I'm not saying in this particular case we got any job performance issues, but they have the leverage to make those decisions as needed for the particular staff. Now, this one, if you want to talk about what this is so that we can see the benefit of the district, that'd be great.
This is Coach Michelle Fisackerly, one of our social studies teachers. This is an organization that she's a part of, and this is something that she does every year. She's teaching several new courses, and this particular opportunity would enable her to do a better job in the classroom. Teaches her a lot of new things as it relates to delivery of the subject matter.
Will she have an opportunity to pass this on to our other high school?
Absolutely.
And we can make that, one of the things that we've done through PDs is we, and our principals don't know this yet, but each principal meeting, they're together designing PowerPoint presentations, and we're about to embody our staff in that same manner, to be able to have breakout sessions where they lead. So that'll be a perfect form for that.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. Mr. McDonald, explanation, I move that we accept H4.
Second.
You mean I-1?
Yeah.
I1.
We have a motion to proper second to accept I-1, Vicksburg travel norms. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. I-1 is approved. Next section is our contract section. And we'll go one by one with those.
By consent, I don't know why you don't do JK and maybe even L consent unless you feel like there's something that needs to be discussed.
Well,
But
we
let
gotta
it-
discuss L.
Yeah, okay,
They
L.
gotta make specific motions.
Okay, all right.
Look, board members, if it is your pleasure, we can address sections J and K as a consent one item. Any items within J and K you'd like to pull for discussion?
1 and 2.
Which one?
J, 1 and 2.
J 1 and 2. Any further items to pull for discussion? Coach, Jim? No, sir. Okay. All right, we have a motion to accept all of section J, all of K, with the exceptions of J 1 and 2. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make,
Make a motion to accept J and K with the exception of 1
second.
We have a motion and proper second to accept sections J and K, J 1 and 2. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. First item of discussion is J with J1, the North Sunflower Medical in the West.
We tried this last year, right? It says it's a renewal, and I thought we pulled it and didn't do it.
Oh, no, we did,
We
this
did.
is the one that we did do, and it involved actually two, is under this because they're the same entity, but because we had unique recommendations for the dental that they
Try and use lunch.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
all
They
that.
wanted
That's
to
why I'm
do-
saying it
we
says
did
it's a
these-
renewal.
We did both of these this year, and I guess it was, what, 2 board meetings ago that I shared with you all of the healthcare benefits and the dental that students had received
Not a
free of cost.
disruption to your day. It's
They
not-
weren't, we only had one building that I can remember, and they called and said, hey, we want to do this way, and I said, I don't want to care, you got to work out with the principals. They did. So I asked the principals in principal meeting if this was beneficial, and all of them said yes, and we didn't have anybody that had
It's
any.
not affecting the
I
structure.
mean, it already came home with me. It came home with my QEP folder yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I jumped the gun, I guess.
Yeah.
The medical thing came home
Sure.
with my folder yesterday. Okay.
Well, I had looked over it a week or 10 days ago probably, and maybe that's why, because I'd already, no, there were some, actually, there were some, one of them, I don't remember which of these two, had some changes to it, and we changed it back to what we
This
had
is what
used
they had
before.
last year.
The only thing I'll comment on what came home in my folder is there isn't anything on the contract thing that as the parent, what you're signing, that says you don't want to do it. It asks for your child's name, address, phone number, social security, every name thing, anything you could ask for. Before you can even say, I'm not interested
You don't have
in
to
doing
opt
this.
out.
Yeah, there was no opting out, I'm not interested, so I just kind of wrote it in both letters across the phone. But there isn't anything on it that gave you an opportunity to say no.
Well, and without that, they can't give you services. So
You don't
the
fill it
opt
out.
is you don't fill it out. You don't send it in.
Well, it
They
said I
can't.
had to send it back today. What I got in my QEP folder said it had to be returned today.
Okay,
So I just returned it with big X.
gotcha.
All right, well then, if it's a re-up and the attorney is already.
Why did it say, I'm curious why yours said,
The contract that came home in my QEP folder says it had to be returned today. So,
who put that on there, do you know?
it was in that hole, and it's all big yeses, and there's no place to say no.
That's not on the,
And it's all wanting social security numbers and and I don't
The-
give that out to you.
yeah, no, I don't
So
blame
as
you.
a parent, I said no to the whole thing, so that's why I was questioning this.
Well, I can check with Tammy. I'm assuming it's that child.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask the same question I asked last time this came up. Are we using local doctors to provide this service?
They are consulting, from the way they did it last time is they consulted and put those opportunities out there as requested by the board. It's
So yes.
same, yes. Well, I can't answer because they're not here, and I definitely don't want to tell you yes. I'm just saying the same parameters that we agreed upon last time are the ones that they got now.
If we're gonna build a local community with a strong local school district, we need to use local talent as much as possible.
I agree with exactly
But
right.
this through North Sunflower, that's not through local doctors, that's through their clinic. That's not local.
It's a mobile.
That was, right, it's a
Yeah,
mobile.
they've got a doctor that
They're
they're
bringing
required,
somebody in and they're doing the thing.
they've got a doctor they're required to have on standby, local doctor that they've got to have a contract with.
Or
But,
if there's follow-up care.
yeah,
And that was the thing, I
But that-
think that we made sure took place was the communication between.
yeah.
I mean, if this has been agreed with the attorney, if the attorneys looked at it.
It's just
I'm
the-
fine with 1 and 2.
It's the form, but it's the same argument, I mean, the same discussion that was had last year on this. It's the exact same discussion, is do we want to utilize, it matters not to me, I just need to make sure the form is okay, and if the form's okay, it's up to you guys to decide if you want to use it or not. I don't care, I'm not saying I advocate for or against this
The form's
group.
not attached here, I just know what I got sent home yesterday.
Why don't we have a motion to approve the form of the school attorney to make sure it's correct?
Already got sent home. It's already been sent home.
Well.
I can word a motion like that if it'll help expedite the effort. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve North Sunflower Medical with the recommendation that they utilize as many medical personnel from the Vicksburg area as possible.
Second.
You approve 1 and 2?
Well, I can give you a separate motion for 2.
Okay. So we have a motion for approving North Sunflower Medical with Mr. Levise's condition of using local medical when available.
That'd
All
be fine
those-
if you want to say it like that.
All those, and we have a motion, proper second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. It's approved.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the mobile dental program, again, providing they utilize as many local medical and dental people as they can.
Is there a second? Second. We have a motion, proper second, to approve J2 mobile dental MOA with the understanding of using as much local dental dentists as possible. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. J2 is approved. We're now down to section L. I just want y'all to know we are 35 minutes in. Mr. Levison, 35 minutes.
I'm proud of you.
All right, we might get to go fishing later.
There might be a ball game on tonight.
Can I, do you want me, or can I kind of talk about this, or do you want to leave that part about what happened with the?
Okay, yeah, I could.
Okay, gotcha.
Y'all all know the work session that we had, or the meeting we had, 2 weeks ago. We were presented by the School Board Association, who reviewed all of our policies and ensured that they were in line with all the state requirements. Each year, the legislature passes laws that say that we have to have a policy that covers concussions or certain subjects. They make sure, and so they evaluated all our policies because we want to make sure we hadn't missed anything in the past. And that review process took an entire year. And we went through the policies again as one whole. We've been presented those over this past year, and initially we were approving them as they came through, but it became quite cumbersome and time consuming. So we waited till they got through, and we had that review 2 weeks ago. We would like to approve these policies. There were a few changes that came out of those policies, and those have been included here. To start a fresh start, we would like to approve the entire board policy again, so that it has one revision date of today. In doing so, because we made 1 or 2 changes, there were some discrepancies, just typos, basically, that we had corrected. Instead of waiting another 30 days, we would like to dispense with the procedure and allow us to accept these today all at one fell swoop. And these have been loaded online and will be available. and we can start going forward, making changes and not having confusion about which policy, which version, and so forth.
And the recommendation from the Mississippi Department of School Board, not Mississippi Department, Mississippi School Board Association was that we rescind all prior board approvals from this date and then accept the moving forward with the new proposed board as policy starting today.
Sounds like a great motion.
I can't make them that.
Does anyone have any questions about policies or any concerns, and we'll discuss anything that we reviewed from the previous meeting? If you don't, we'd like to entertain a motion to suspend with the rule and approve the presented policies, rescind all previous policies and approve the current policies presented. Is there a motion?
Only one question I have. I noticed in the new policy, we're still holding to 5 minutes for public comment. We had discussed one night in here cutting that to 3 minutes.
And typically,
Is it gonna be 3 minutes or 5
it's
minutes?
going to be 5 minutes. It was several different things in several places. We agreed that 5 minutes was an appropriate time to give someone enough time to speak, but we got rid of discrepancy. We got rid of 3 minutes. And typically in our executive session, when we're allowing people to speak, we're giving them 5 minutes.
But we prefer 3 minutes. I wanna, Mr. Chairman, I wanna pay a compliment before you get on towards the end of the program. Ms. Burke has done a good job of working with the Board of Supervisors to get the lines of communication open. We had a front page article about a week ago that the school system calls the Board of Supervisors to increase millage. That's not accurate. Ms. Burke met with the Board of Supervisors this morning, wrote up the report explaining why the county millage went up. So we don't want the school system getting any bad publicity if at all possible. So thank you for doing that.
So, Mr. Leviza, Board, do we have a motion to accept the current board policies and rescind all previous and accept?
Your first motion, I think, it wasn't to suspend the rule,
Go do that first?
Yeah, do that
Do we have a
first.
motion to suspend the rule on approving policies, instead of waiting 30 days to approve them immediately today? Is there a motion?
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion proper second to suspend the rules of waiting 30 days on policy changes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Suspend the rule. Now we need a motion to, you want to do both of them separately, or can you have one?
Do rescind old policies and approve new ones, it's fine with me.
There you
Yeah.
go. Do we have a motion to rescind all old policies and approve the current policies presented?
I'll make a motion to rescind all the old policies and approve the new policy.
Second.
We have a motion and a proper second to rescind all old policies and approve the presented policies. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Next item on the agenda is executive session.
No, revision of student handbook. Need that because now we have brand new policy that is in conflict with the student handbook that we had, and we had a,
I just,
did you approve? Oh, that's fine. You approved it, we're good.
So,
L4?
so,
L4 has 2 pages.
was the last thing you approved L1, 2, and 3? Is that right?
yes.
That covered all those
That's
policies?
covered all the policies. Now that the new policies change, we need to approve.
For the seriously, right.
L4.
We had the policy that was pulled with the equating dual credit with dual AP courses because the state does that. They count them equal, so we wanted to do the QPA that way. We took out the language that required payment for those courses and required them to take the test. So now it reflects that. The other thing we did is we condensed the grading scale to a simple section there, and that's before you. That's the only 2 things that are a change, and that's to get us aligned with the new policy that you just approved.
Are there any questions on the revised handbook? Item L4.
No, I think we must give out accurate information, so that has to be done.
So, we're on the,
Yeah, we're on L4.
I make a motion that we accept the changes to the
Second.
handbook and get them handed out immediately.
We have a motion and proper second to approve revisions to the handbook presented in L4. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion, item is approved. My understanding is there are no items for executive session.
That's correct.
I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Motion, second. All those in favor?
Wow.
I want to go
Wow.
on record.
Now,
I'm
you
so-
go tell him that this is school